All right, so you want to log on to Brightspace, go to Lab 10, and you can see there's the PDF that we're going to do. And we're going to work with assemblies tonight where we can assemble different parts together. We haven't done assemblies yet, and this is kind of fun, kind of cool. We can take these individual parts that have been made and put them together, assemble them to make a unit, make something. So on Brightspace, go ahead and download all these SLD PRT SolidWorks part files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you download them, what I would do is wherever you're downloading them in, save, make a folder. So I have SolidWorks, I'm going to make a folder called this Lab 10. And what I would do is in Lab 10, make a new folder and maybe call this, the first one's Chopper. And we can save all the files into this Chopper folder. Save each one. Usually if we were in class, you would just copy and paste these from the shared common drive. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total. Okay, so if I go to show and folder to one of these, I'm going to have 7 different files. Okay, once you do that, if you go down to the Zoom and go to manage participants, or just participants, I guess would probably be on yours, participants on the bottom. Once you have all 7 files downloaded, if you would hit the green yes check mark, please. And we did this last week. I think this works well because then I know if I can move on or not. You don't need to download the video. And I would actually cancel that if that was downloading because I could take. All right, Charlie, how you doing? You getting this 7 files downloaded?
Yeah, I'm getting.
You're good? Can you hit the little green check mark? Do you know where that is? Go down to participants on the bottom and then hit the green check mark for yes, okay. You see what it is in the bottom? It says participants.
Yeah, you know, I just got them downloaded now. So.
Okay. All right, what you want to do then is go into SolidWorks and go to File, New. And we're going to do a new assembly file. So we haven't done these before. You can see on here, we're going to take two different parts. We have a yellow part and a blue part as the example and put them together. Hit OK, or double click on it. And this will open up an assembly file. And again, we can use that file to put everything together. Give me 1 second here. All right, next. On mine, it automatically opened up a window. I'm going to exit out just so, in case yours didn't, what you can do is you're going to go to, if you have this beginning assembly, you click on the Browse button here. It just opens this window again, or you can just keep this window open. And on here, you can go to where you saved your files. So you have to know where you save them to. So I saved them to my Lab 10 Chopper folder. So find and navigate to where your files are. And then if we look at the PDF, we have a parts list here. Okay, and the parts list shows you the order that we're going to bring these in. So item number 1, it says Lab 9 fuselage. So the very first thing we want to bring in, and this is important, we want to bring in the Lab 9 fuselage. It's the third file. Lab 9 fuselage. And double click on it or hit open. And then what you want to do is click it somewhere on your screen. Just click, it doesn't matter where. And it kind of moves it a little bit. So you want to get to that point. All right, next, you can actually see our sketches in here. And this is obviously similar to what we did last week, except they added the pipes to the back. I'm going to turn off those sketches by going up to the eyeball and clicking on the sketch icon here, which says View Sketches. I'm going to turn that off so it's grayed out, because I think they just get in the way. Now, the first object you bring in should always be kind of like the main base that you want to start building off of. And by default, it moves this first one in, it fixes it in place. If you look at the design tree on the left, there's an F, and the F stands for fixed. It's meaning I can't move it, it's fixed. There is a way to right click and make it float, but we don't want to do that. We actually want to keep it fixed. All right, so I just wanted to show you that so you're aware. All right, we're going to bring in the next component. If we look at the PDF, it is servo frame 3. For some reason, it has an extra 0. Don't worry about these zeros on the end. It just does that. So up top, I'm on my assembly tab. Okay, and on the assembly tab, go up to insert components. And you want to bring in the next one, which we just said is the servo frame 3. So it's the next to last one. So frame 3, double click on it or hit OK. You're going to place that sort of to the side here. And click on your screen to place it down. All right, and once you have these 2 steps done, please hit the green yes check mark. All right, perfect. All right, so now we're going to make these together. Click on your screen to deselect everything so you don't have something selected by mistake. And then up top on the assembly tab, you should have a mate paperclip. Click on the mate icon, looks like a little paperclip. And it allows us to stick or mate together 2 surfaces. So I'm going to zoom in here, and you want to click right on this round part, not on the edge, but right on the round part here on the what they call the face of it. That's our first selection. Okay, then you want to rotate around. Hopefully you have a mouse with the middle mouse button. You can rotate it easier. And you want to click right on this red round part here. Not on the edge, but on the actual face of it. Click on that second. And when you do, it moves them together. Okay, but this actually isn't facing the right direction. If we look at the PDF, we want the bump to be on the back. Okay, we want the little bump part of this on the back. So to flip it, over here on the right, I mean the left, under mate alignment, click on this little icon right here, it says aligned, and it will flip it. Okay, it's okay if it rotates at different angles, that's okay, hit the green. Once you do that then, hit the green check mark twice to kind of finish that command.
Can you repeat that? How to change the orientation?
Yeah, it's down here. You still have to have the 2 things here, face 1 and face 2. And you need to click on where it says mate alignment. You need to click on this first icon here, this little thing right here. It says aligned.
Cool, got it.
So when I go to mate align, it puts it off to the left, not on the center part.
Yeah, mine's off to the left too.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, I couldn't see that from your screen.
We'll fix that later. All right, hit the check mark twice, once to hit that, and then twice to kind of finish that. Now mine's kind of rotated down, so I'm going to just click on this and kind of drag it up. And again, you can drag it. So notice that it's locked into one of the 3 axes. So we have X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, Z up, X towards me, Z that way. You can mate any part 3 times, one in the X, one in the Y, one in the Z. So right there, that was one of the 3 ways. So now we want to lock it in left and right, kind of front to back, however you want to call it. So click off of everything, go to mate again, click on a little paper clip. Click on this front face here, this side. I kind of liked it when it didn't go blue. And you got to zoom in here and you're going to click on the side of this red round part here. Okay, so what I did is the 2 sides are lining up with one another. Then hit the check mark twice, once, twice to finish the command. All right, we're actually going to leave it rocking back and forth. So those are the only 2 mates we're going to add for these 2 parts. All right, go to your isometric view, Control 7, or go up to the view orientation cube. and isometric. Go to the assembly tab and click on mate. Nope, not mate. X that out. Insert component, I mean. And the next part, the third part we want to bring in is the CCW rotor. Okay, so CCW rotor is the top one, the first one. Stands for counterclockwise rotor. And we're going to kind of place that in near the top here. All right, click off of everything so you don't have anything selected. Click on mate. Click on the cylinder here. Then you want to click on the inside of the hole, not the edge of the hole, but the inside of the hole here. Okay, so now that lines up the pipes. Yours might be in it, on it, above it, below it, that doesn't matter. It's just lining them up in one of the three directions right now. All right, hit the check mark once. Now before we hit it twice, drag this up. So I'm going to click on this part and drag it up so it's above it like this. Or drag it down, but move this so it's roughly in that kind of position. Make sure you don't have anything in your mate selection box. So if you have something in here, like if I have this selected by mistake, you want to select it in here and delete it out. So if I have that selected there, I want to click on it and hit the delete key to deselect it. All right, so there's nothing should be in here. You're going to click on the top of this part right here, this flat part, click on the top of that. And then with your middle mouse button, you're going to drag it straight up and rotate it. So click and drag it straight up to rotate it. And you want to click on the bottom of this round part here, right where the tip of the arrow is pointing. Okay, and then spin it back down. And what you have is they're going to sit on top of each other. So hit your check mark twice to finish. You want this part to sit on top of this part. Okay, once you have that, please hit the green check mark. Yes, okay, check mark. All right, Derek, how you doing? You getting it? All right, next, go to insert component again, browse. This time we want the CW rotor. And kind of place that one near the other one. Click off of everything so you don't have anything selected. And then click on mate. Click on the cylinder again. and click on the click on the inside of the hole here. Again, it doesn't really matter if it's in it or out of it or what. We just want them to line up. That's what's important right now. Hit OK. Click on the top of this part here. I'm going to zoom out, middle mouse button. I'm going to click and rotate straight up. I'm going to zoom out some more. And then zoom in, pointing at the top here so I can see the point where you zoom in at. But you want to rotate this around and click underneath the bottom of this, just like we did before. And then rotate it around again. Hit the check mark twice. So we want this part to sit on top of that other part. So get those two parts to sit on each other. And maybe hit the green check mark again. All right, go to your isometric view, Control-7. So we're going to bring in our next part, which if we look at our PDF here, is the tail rotor.
Yo, prof.
Yes.
So I've been trying to submit all this stuff, but I'm having a ton of issues with trying to put it into the PDF or the title block.
Okay.
So that's why nothing's been submitted yet. And I sent you an email. I don't know if you got it or not. I sent you screenshots of the error messages I'm getting, et cetera, et cetera.
I think I got an email. I don't think I got any attachments.
Okay. But what I was going to ask is, can I just give you the SLD part files? Because you can see that I've done them all.
Yeah, when you go to File and Save As, you should be able just to say where it says Save As Type, you just save it as a PDF. That's all you gotta do. You don't try to print or anything.
No. But if you go to the file, whatever it is, and you go into
File new drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, these tile blocks should come up automatically.
Yeah, but it's not, for some reason, it's being really weird on that. It's just,
You just so when you double click on a landscape.
Right, you get like error loading or error compiling drawing.
So why don't we set up a time, maybe like sometime tomorrow during the day or something. We'll shoot an email where we can do that, because right now we're in lab. We're going through lab 10. We're working through this lab right now, so I don't have time to help you right now.
No worries.
But
Just figured I'd stop in and ask.
Yep.
All right, I'll shoot you an email and see what we can set up.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Bye. All right. That's where there was a train, and I could hear the train on his end and my end too. It's kind of weird. It must be nearby. Anyway, assembly, insert components. We want the tail rotor. Put it here towards the back. Click off of everything. Click on mate with the paperclip. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click on the inside of the hole here. I'm going to do the top one first. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do the top one. Bless me. And then click on this side of the pipe here. Now you don't want to click on the edge of it. Again, you want to click on the round part. Now mine pushed mine in like this. I'm going to actually drag this out a little bit. Nope. Hit the check mark once, then maybe drag it out. And click on the check mark once, twice to finish your mate command. And click on mate again to start a new one. And click on the inside of the bottom hole this time. And the outside of the bottom pipe. So now they should line up with one another. And hit the check mark twice to finish. Okay, now this is a little tricky, so you want to watch here. Click on mate a third time. We're going to click on the end, the face of this round part, so in between the two circles. So click on that face there, kind of like the donut face. The middle mouse button, rotate it to the left. You want to click on the end of this pipe here. So now you do want to click on the end. Okay, but we're not done yet, so don't hit the check mark. There's more to do. Okay, so I did that. Inside the two circles, the face to the end of the pipe face. Now turn on the, over here on the left, you have a little distance icon. Go ahead and turn that on. And if you look at the PDF, we want a distance, mate distance of 0.25 inches. Now we're in millimeters. So one thing we need to do is type in 0.25 IN for inches and hit enter. And it converts it to millimeters. Okay, so that was just 0.25 IN for inches and enter. It converts it automatically, but notice it's putting it 0.25 inches away from it, and we want it to be 0.25 inches on it. So down here, there's a little box you can check that says flip dimension. Okay, so check that box so that it flips it so that it goes onto the pipe. 0.25 inches. And then hit the check mark twice. Okay, while we're at it, let's change the MMGS to IPS. So let's change this to inches, pounds, seconds, then we don't have to worry about it converting. Okay. And then does anybody want me to show that again? Because I know it's pretty tricky. If you have it, hit the green check mark, please. All right, insert, go to the assembly, insert component. The next thing we need is Lab 10 servo. Right there's the Lab 10 servo. And we're going to put that over here to the side, like that. And we actually, if you look at the parts list, we need 3 of them. So the quantity QTY quantity 3. So one fast way to do that is we can just hold down the control key, click and drag off, and click and drag off, and we can actually drag off copies by holding the control key. So hold down the control key and click and drag off copies. All right, so let's click on an empty area of your screen or hit escape. Make sure you don't have anything selected. Click on mate. So we're going to mate the inside of this hole with the inside of this hole on the left. Okay, so they should line up. Hit OK once. And then you want to do the inside of the other holes. Now this can be a little tricky, so I'm on the right one now. When you click on the black servo, you can kind of see through it, and you can actually click on that inside hole. It's a hole over here. You can actually get into it, kind of through it. The other thing you can do is like kind of rotate this out of the way and get into it. But we want both the holes to line up with the frame. And hit OK again. Now the last one, we want to sit on this. So I'm going to click on the side of this gray part and then spin this around and click on the back side of the servo, the black thing. Okay, so what I want is I want to have, and you can kind of see it when you hit the check mark. I want the black thing to sit on the gray thing. So it sits right on it. Okay, let me know if you want me to see that again. If not, hit the green check mark for yes.
Can we do that again, please?
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. So you want to make sure this is free. Maybe hit undo. Make sure nothing's selected. Hit escape. Click on mate. All right, we're going to line up the left hole with the left hole. It doesn't really matter where you click in first. I can click inside here first, then click inside of here. So it lines them up. Hit the check mark. Now you can hit the check mark here. You can hit the check mark up here. You can hit the check mark over here. They all do the same thing. There's 3 ways to click on it. And you got to do the other side. So you got to do this hole here to the inside of the frame hole. Hit the check mark once again, and then click on the side of the gray thing and spin it around and click on the back of the black thing. So they should touch. And then finish the make command by hitting OK until it goes away. Yeah, this is pretty tricky for people. They always seem to struggle with the servos. So if you need to see it again, let me know. If you're good, hit the yes green check mark. All right, we're going to kind of do the same on the other side, spin it around to go to the opposite side. Hit escape so you don't have something selected by mistake. And what I mean is, like, I could spin this around and maybe I have this pipe selected by mistake. If I have something selected by mistake and I start my make command, it automatically starts showing up in my make command. Well, I don't want that. That's not what I want. Now you can just select it and delete it out. It's not a big deal. But I like to hit the escape key before I start a new command. All right, same thing on this one. Click on the inside of the hole here. So these holes are actually a little bit offset from the previous holes that we did. You can kind of see those are the previous ones we did. This is the new one. And the right side of one of these fuselage holes. Now this can get tricky. Hit the check mark once. It moved mine kind of on top of the other one, which is really challenging. So what I can do is try to drag this through. But you can see everything can get twisted and it can be pretty annoying. What you could do is maybe click on the inside of this hole. This is the opposite side now with the inside of the frame. Check mark it once and then hit the face of the silver part. Spin it around to the back side of the black part. Again, so they look like they're sitting on each other. So even if you have trouble, the key here is left hole to left hole, right hole to right hole, and then make them so they sit on each other. And then hit the green check mark arrow. Finish the mate. And hit the green check mark yes on the participants. Now, sometimes if it's like really not working and you're having lots of trouble, one thing you could do is just delete out the part. And once you delete out the part, you could drag in a new one. So I can delete out the part, tear off another copy. Might be even better to mate this face here to the back of the black thing, so it puts it like in the same area. Right, so at least now they're like kind of in the same area. And now I can just line up the holes on the left side and line up the holes on the right side. Kind of doesn't matter how you line them up, just get them to line up. Okay, once you have that, hit the yes check mark. Good. All right, the last one for this, we're going to rotate your thing here back so you can like see it like this. Like, so if it's up like that, or if it's back like way far, drag it up so it's kind of like that. Hit escape so you don't have something selected by mistake. And click on the mate icon. Now, if you look at the PDF, let me zoom in here. This little part that kind of sticks out, there's like a little like foot that sticks out to the side, is actually up in the air. It's facing up, which means the hole that's above this little black foot goes to the top. Let me show you what I mean here. This hole on the right side of my screen, the one that's above the foot, we want to line the center of this hole up. Okay, so there's my little foot sticking out. Clicked on the center of the hole here. That goes to the top hole here in the frame. And hit the check mark. Now, click on the bottom hole. And this is going to be the opposite hole. Okay, so last time, remember, we did the hole above the foot. So for the second bottom hole, we're going to click on the opposite one, the one that doesn't have the foot below it. And see how that rotated it around so the little foot sticks up? Hit the OK check mark once. And we're going to click on this back of the black part here. We want that to sit on the gray part. And then check mark it twice. So this part's, it's hard to see because it's like inside of it. Not really sure what the best view here is. All right, then once you got that, go ahead and hit the green check mark for OK. Yes. And if you need me to show you again, let me know. How you guys doing? You getting it? All right, I think I said that's the last piece, but I was wrong. There's one more. So go back to your isometric view, Control-7, just so we're all in the same, kind of looking at this, and drag this frame so it's kind of pointing straight up. Spin around so you can see inside here. You want to be able to see this silver thing, the dark silver thing, hanging down inside the fuselage. Okay. Now insert component. This is the last one. It's the link. the missing link. We found it. Click on link. Now we have this little tool here that lets us rotate it. It's kind of cool. We can rotate this because we want it to go kind of the other direction. So it goes side to side here. So if I spin it around the Y button, it actually spins it around. We can put it in just like that. And notice that it looked like it was going in the right spot, and now it's like halfway like in my thing here. That's kind of the annoying thing about working in 3D. I'm just going to drag it out. All right, click off of everything. Go to mate. I'm going to click on the inside of this hole here. And zoom out and click on the inside of the link here. Okay, so those are lining up. Hit the check mark once. And we want to line up these other holes. So click on the inside of the other hole. And we want to choose the inside of the top. You have a couple of different holes to choose from. We want the top one. And we'll line these up. Hit the check mark once again. Now we want to have this silver thing, this link, we want it to sit on this. So I'm going to click on the face of my silver part, spin around. You gotta get kind of lost here. It can get kind of confusing. You need to click on the back side of my link. So however you can get to the back side of your link, spin around, get the back side of your link so that it sits on the surface of the other part, the bracket or whatever it is. Hit the check mark twice. So hold the hole, and then face to face so it sits on it. All right, that's the first part. Let's save it, go up to File and Save As. And this is Lab 10. Chopper. Again, I'm saving this the same space where I saved all my files. So Lab 10, Chopper folder. You don't see anything else because this is the only assembly file. The part files are in here. You just don't see them because you're only seeing assembly files and hit save. And saying you want to save everything, just hit save all, it's fine. Okay, once you have that link in there and you saved it, please hit the green check mark for yes again. Good, so that took us just as long as it pretty much does in class, so that's good. The only thing is, obviously there's only 4 of you, not 16, so, but that's still pretty good. All right, we want to go back to Lab 10, and Let's skip for now. Let's skip drawing 2. We're going to skip drawing tool, the mill. Let's go down to drawing 3. I'm going to download the PDF so you guys can see what the PDF looks like. So this is a bead breaker. And it's like, what kind of bead? Not like beads you wear around your neck. It's welding beads. Okay, so you can put things that you welded together. You need to bust up the bead a little bit, welding it, and we'll break the welding bead. All right, we need to download all these part files here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I would do when you download the first one is make a new folder. So mine are on my desktop, SolidWorks, Lab 10. I'm gonna make a new folder. So I have my chopper folder, make another new folder and call this one bead breaker. We'll click on it, and I can save all my stuff into my bead breaker folder. Try to be careful not to skip one, because it's very easy to not remember where you clicked on. When you get to the bottom one, you click on the little arrow here, you can show in folder. Well, that's if you're using Google Chrome. But we want to have all 8 files here. All right, once you have those downloaded, hit the green check mark for yes. And camera, let me know when you got those. All right, go back to SolidWorks. We can leave this file open, that's not a big deal. Let's go up to File, New. And again, we're going to do a new assembly. And we're going to browse in for our first file. Now, when I browse, it actually took me to my chopper folder because that's where we left off. I'm going to up top go back a folder to Lab 10. And then I can go open my bead breaker folder that I created. Okay, now the first thing we want to bring in is the tube. So go to the tube and hit OK. And we're going to just place one of these on the screen. It doesn't matter, just click somewhere on the screen. Now we're going to need a second tube. So hold down the control key and tear one off to the right. Put it on the right so we know which one's which. So control key, tear off a second one, put it to the right. Click off of everything and click on mate. All right, now click on the top of the one that's over here on the right. We'll click on the top of the tube here. And with the middle mouse button, spin this around to the left. You want to click on the back face of this one that was on the left. Now it's kind of above it, but the one that doesn't have the blue, this one has the blue. You want to click on the back of the tube here so it spins it around like that. Okay, then go to your isometric view, Control 7. So it should look something like this, where the one's laying, the other one's standing up now. Hit the green check mark once. All right, click on the side of the tube. On the one laying down, click on the right side of the tube laying down, and then click on the right side of the tube standing up. So you got side to side. Hit the check mark again. Now middle mouse button, spin it straight up. Zoom in. You want to click on the bottom of the laying down one. You want to zoom in and click on the bottom of the standing up one. So that this lines up with that. And then hit the check mark twice. Go to your isometric view, Control 7. And you should have kind of like an L. Once you have the L, hit the yes, okay check mark. All right, let's bring in the next part. We got the gusset layout. Insert component, browse, gusset layout. We'll click on it or hit OK. And we actually want to rotate this a little bit. So let's rotate this now. I have X, Y, and Z. I want this to spin around this green Y. So I'm going to hit my Y button until it's spinning around forward, and then I'm going to place one there. And then I'm going to click on it, hold down the control key, and tear off a second one, put one on the other side. So I want one on each side. That's not, that's good.
Before you click on the Y, do you have to set the gusset onto the page,
No,
I guess?
You want to click on the Y before you click it on the page. You get to spin it around while it's still kind of floating. And it's okay, because we don't really need to do that. Because watch, even if you have it going a different way, let's do this. Hit escape, click on mate. Click on this side of the tube, one standing up. And then if you click on the side of the gusset, it will spin around anyway. So even if you had it sideways, Once you
So
put
you
it on the
don't,
side.
it doesn't matter if it's, which orientation it is in.
Well, you want the holes facing the front. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I gotta, I guess I gotta re-import the piece.
Yeah, just delete the one you have and bring it in again. I don't usually do that, so I probably shouldn't have because we didn't need to hit the Y turning thing. All right, and we're gonna do the side of the pipe to the inside of the gusset so they sit on top of each other. The check mark once. Spin around to the back and zoom in. What we want to do is click on the back of the tube and zoom in real far and click on the back of the pink thing, the back of the gusset. So you line up the blue thing with the gusset. I hit the check mark once again. Spin it around. Now we want to do the bottom of the pink thing to the bottom of our tubes. Bottom of the pink thing to the bottom of the tube, called a gusset. And then go to your isometric view, Control 7. So what we have here is the bottom of the pink thing goes to the bottom of the tubes. The back of the pink thing goes to the back of the tubes. And the pink thing sits on the tube. Okay, if you notice that there's actually a little bit of a gap up top, that's fine. That's okay. It's actually that way on the drawing too. All right, hit escape, click on mate. We're going to do the other gusset, so click on the inside of the pink thing to now the opposite side of the tube that sits on it. Hit the check mark, spin it around, click on the back of the tube. So we want the back of the tube to the back of the pink thing again. Hit the check mark once. And you want to do the bottom of the tube to the bottom of the pink thing. Bottom of the tube to the bottom of the pink thing, hit the check mark twice. And then go back to your isometric view, Control 7. So pretty much just the opposite thing, same thing we did on the other side.
Could you redo that for me? I got behind with the reinserting the part.
Which one? Both of them or just one of them?
Just one, I can repeat the first one.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna drag off a copy. So I got 2 of them. Click on mate. Pretty much you want to mate the side of the pink thing that's facing the yellow thing. And then click on the yellow tube. So that's side of the yellow tube to the side of the pink thing. So it sits on it. And then you do back to back. So you zoom in real far and click on the back of one of them to the back of the tube. And hit the check mark, and then you do the bottom. So you do the bottom of the pink thing to the bottom of the tube. So you want everything to line up. You want the back to line up with the back, bottoms to line up with the bottoms, and you want to sit on the surface.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, and then go back to your isometric view, Control 7. Once you guys have that, hit the green yes arrow, please. All right, let's bring in the next part. So the next part we're going to bring in is the screws. Hit Insert Component, Browse, and we want the first one, all the numbers, 92316. It's a screw here. And we're just going to put one of them up here at the top. Click on Mate. And zoom in on it. Now, if you look at the bolt here, you zoom in, there's a lot of threads. We don't want to click on those. You click on the smooth part of the bolt. Then click on the inside of the pink gusset. But notice that the bolt's actually facing the wrong direction. We want to flip it. So to flip it, you click on the mate alignment down here where it says aligned. And that will flip it, just like we did with the chopper. Okay, once you have it facing the right direction, hit OK. Click on the bottom of the head here. And then middle mouse button, spin it to the right. We want to click on the surface of the pink thing so it sits right on it. Right, we want the bottom of the head to sit on the pink thing. Now, if you look at the PDF, you actually need 4 of these bolts, quantity 4. So let's hold down the control key, grab on somewhere on the cylinder, and make 3 more copies. So we get 4 total. All right, we're going to make another one into the bottom part. So hit escape, nothing selected, go to mate. Now, another thing you could do, and this just kind of show you, since I know I'm going to mate this cylinder, I could click on that and you get all these little shortcuts. And there is a shortcut icon for mate. So instead of going way up here, which I know, but I'm just showing you, you can click on here and go to this mate. It takes you to the same thing, except that it automatically has that face detected. All right, so if you haven't yet, click on this little smooth part of the cylinder. That's going to be our first selection. And zoom in to these bottom holes. And again, you want to click inside in between the 2 circles. And hit the green check mark once. And again, click on the bottom of the head. spin it around and click on the surface of the pink thing. So it sits right on it. Hit the check mark twice to finish it. Okay, just like we did up here, same thing. Next, bring in the next components, go to Insert Components, Browse. This time we're going to bring in the arm. And just place that in the screen. Go to Mate. Click on the inside of the arm, the rounded part inside the hole. Click on the smooth part of the bolt. And now it flips it around backwards. That's okay. Just hit OK. And then kind of you can manually spin it around. Just kind of click and drag it and spin it around manually. And then we also want to move this. Mine froze. But we also want to move this like on the inside here. So we want it something like that. So move this like inside the pink things and kind of down like that. All right, next we want to click on the inside of the pink thing and spin it around and click on the matching side of the arm. So again, that it sits right on that surface they touch. And then hit the check mark again to finish your mate if you haven't already. All right, we need 2 arms, so let's control drag a second one off. Click off of everything to deselect it. Click on mate. Click on the smooth part of the bolt. Click on the inside of the other hole. Check mark it once. Click on the right side of the arm, the side of it, and spin around and click on the inside of the pink thing. Again, so they sit on each other for touch. Okay, so it should have the 2 arms sitting on the inside of the pink things. Double check, make sure the arms are on the inside of the pink, not on the outside. Okay, once you have that, hit the green check mark, yes, check mark so I know you got it. All right, I'm still on the make command. I'm going to hit the check mark to get out of my make command if you haven't already. All right, next we need to make these 2 bolts to these 2 holes. So click off of everything, click on mate, click on one of the smooth cylinders of the bolt, click inside one of the holes. So that lines that up. You got to hit the check mark because you can only have 2 surfaces selected at a time. Hit check mark once and click on the bottom of the bolt. Middle mouse button, spin it around and click on the face of the arm. Hit the check mark twice to finish that one. Okay, and you're going to repeat those steps for this last bolt. Click on mate. Click on the smooth part of the bolt. Click on the inside of the holes. Check mark it once. Click on the bottom of the bolt, spin it around and click on the arm. So it sits on it. Now, the check mark once. One thing else I want you to do is grab one of these arms and drag it down. Notice it doesn't line up. Okay, so drag this down, click off of it. Click on the smooth part of the bolt and click on the inside of the arm here, the opposite hole. Okay, you want to click on the inside of the hole in the other arm and hit the check mark twice. 1, 2. Now it's cool, if you go to your isometric view, Control 7, you can drag this up and down and it will go up and down as like one unit. Okay, you want this to kind of be locked in as one unit. Okay, if you need to add some mates, add the mates you need. Okay, once yours is good, hit the yes or okay check mark. So I know you're good to go. All right, next thing we want to bring in is the CYL cylinder. So go up to Insert Component, Browse, CYL cylinder. Put that up here towards the top. And we skipped the cylinder PIV, CYL PIV, cylinder pivot. Go to Insert Component, Browse, and get the CYL PIV, PIV, SIL PIV. We're going to put that up here towards the top too. All right, like we've always done, click off everything. Click on the smooth part of the bolt. Let's do our little shortcut and go to the little mate paperclip icon. The nice thing about that is it's a little bit faster because it already puts the first selection in there and activates the mate command all in kind of one step. Okay, then click on the inside of this bluish purple thing. So they line up. Hit the check mark once. All right, I want the inside of the pink thing to line up with the matching side of my blue hole here. Hit the check mark twice, 1, 2. And then what we want to do is just manually kind of grab this and spin it around. So we can just spin this around, drag it around. All right, click off everything, click on mate. Click on the kind of bottom face of this. Spin around and click on the matching side of this. So they face each other. Hit the check mark once. Click on the side of the gray thing to the matching side of the blue thing. So side to side, check mark, then top to top. Click on the top, click on the other top. So mating square things is easy because it's just side to side, top to top. All right, let's bring in the next component, insert components, browse. We want the piston. Kind of put this down here at the end of the cylinder. All right, click off everything, click on mate. Click on the shaft here over piston. This is kind of tricky. You want to click on the inside hole here, except we got a problem, it's backwards. Okay, we have this backwards in the way we want it. So just like we have a couple times, over on the left, go down the mate alignment and flip it. Click on aligned. And it should flip it for you. Hit the check mark once and click on the inside of the hole and place it on the smooth part of this bolt, the last bolt. And when you kind of do it all kind of comes together all nice and magically. Hit the check mark twice to finish. You can see there the piston goes in, attach it to the bolt. Now, one thing about these 3D models is they're not really solid. I could technically kind of go through this whole thing, which is not what we want. And I can even pull this thing out the whole way. Okay, so there is a way to fix that. Okay, go to your isometric view, Control 7. Move your arm so it's kind of like in this position. Then if you would, hit the green yes arrow, just so I know that you're good to go. All right, we're gonna do an advanced mate. Yeah, already advanced mate. So click on nothing, make sure you have nothing selected. Click on mate. All right, the first thing you want to click on is kind of this top of this part here, right where the tip of my arrow is pointing. Click on that. Middle mouse button, rotate straight up. Click on the bottom of the cylinder. Okay, now what that did is it kind of locked them in. Over here on the left, we have standard mates, which is what we've been doing, but go down and click expand advanced mates. Hit that little drop down there for advanced mates. Now what's annoying is that when you do that, it kind of pushes it up here, advanced mates. We want to turn on the distance option. So turn on the distance. And below that, we have two different distances we can play with. We have an open distance, maximum value, and a closed distance, a minimum value. Before we do that, we should have changed the MMGS to IPS. Let's go to MMGS and change it to IPS. Yeah, it's not going to change anything in here. That's annoying. Advanced mates, 5.75 and 0. So our open distance, we can select everything and hit 5.75 IN for inches and enter. Okay, all updated inches now. And then our closed distance or minimum value would be 0. You can just hit enter. Right, so it's closing on 0 inches in between, so they touch. And it opens up 5.75 inches. Okay, does anybody need to see something here? The top of that to the bottom of the cylinder, advanced mates, turn on the distance icon here, 5.75 IN, 0. And hit OK once, twice. Now what's cool is when you shut it, it shuts at 0. When you pull it pulls out to 5.75 distance from 0. There you go. You can kind of lock in. Now you can still flip it around so it goes through it, which is not good, but that's fine. And my screen froze. All right, hit the green yes check mark, please, once you got that. If you need me to show that again, let me know. Now let's say you need to delete a mate, and we haven't gone over this yet. Down here on the bottom, we can expand. These are all the mates that we have for this. So if I have like multiple mates down here for it says limited distance, I could modify them, I could edit them, I could delete them. Okay, here's all the mates listed for our assembly. And what's cool is like if I expand this piston here, so I expanded down the piston, I have mates in assembly, I can expand that down. These are the 3 mates that relate to this piston. So I can go in here and see, okay, what mates go to that piston, and can I either edit them, edit the feature to edit them, or just delete them. All right, Cameron, how are you doing? All right, last thing we're going to bring in is the spoon. Go up to Insert Component, Browse, and click on the spoon. Double click or hit OK. And we're going to put that kind of here-ish. Mate the inside of the green thing to this second bolt here, the smooth part of the bolt. Check mark it once. Click on the inside of the arm and spin it around. Click on the inside of the green thing. And hit the check mark twice. There we go. Now, in our PDF, there's these acorn nuts. They come with the professional version of SolidWorks. We could technically download these online. Maybe I should add them to D2L in the future, but we're not going to worry about the acorn nuts. We don't need them. In the professional versions of SolidWorks, you have this little stack of library books here called the Design Library. And you have a thing called a toolbox. You click on that toolbox and you can add them in. But the student version doesn't come with these. Okay, this is something that only the professional version has. But what's cool, I probably got it all screwed up now. I probably shouldn't have clicked on it because it's going to try to load and I got the Zoom plus the recording of the Zoom going on. Let's do this. Let's do the last one. Go back to Brightspace. We're going to do drawing 2, mill assembly. Download the PDF for you. Before I do that, let's download one of these parts. Again, I'm going to go back to my Lab 10 folder. Click on the new folder icon. And this one is called the mill assembly. Just mill. Then double click on it to open it. Save my part file inside my mill. Save. Do that for each one. All right, so I gotta go back a folder. Nope, that's right. 9 items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. Good. So I should have 9. All right, so let's do go to SolidWorks, do a new file, new. Click on assembly, double click on it or hit OK. And this is actually one of those tutorials that come with SolidWorks. So I'm going to click on my little house icon, go welcome to SolidWorks. And again, you don't have to do this. You can just follow along with me. I'm going to show you where it's located. So click on the welcome to SolidWorks. Oh my God, I might have to get out of that first. Let me see here. Why is this not working? All right, so click on the house icon, click on welcome to SolidWorks. Up top, click on the learn button, click on tutorials, click on basic techniques. And you can see down here, it says assembly mates. It has a picture of the mill we're going to do. I'm going to go over here and hit File New, Assembly, because I had to close mine to get this to pop open. Yours should already be open. If you haven't yet, go ahead and click on Browse.
Are you able to minimize that box with the chat list? I assume what it is.
Can you see this on my screen?
Yeah, it's blacked out for privacy reasons, I suppose, but it's pretty much in the way of the computer and the screen.
Yeah, I can minimize that out.
Appreciate it.
Was that on the whole time?
Yeah, it was on the other video from last week. I thought it was just my screen, so I didn't mention it until I realized through the recording on online that it was there. It's not protrusive, but it's still
Right.
in the screen. So
Yeah, I didn't think that showed up on the recordings or on your side of the Zoom. All right, so let's see. We browse. We got our parts here. I'm going to go to the next topic. These are all the parts we're going to download, which we did. Next topic. This is kind of tricky. We're going to bring in the first part here. It's called the one thing I like to do is like all these little icons here. If I click on my little icon thing up here on the top, I can actually choose large icons. I can see them better. So that was right here, this little drop down here. You can choose large icons. You want to bring in the knee, but it does matter where you click here. Wait, hit escape. We need to do something first. Let's hit the red X. We need to turn on the origin first. To do that, go up to the view menu. If you have your, if your knee is in here, undo, delete it so it's not there. And then go up to view. We want to turn on the temporary, the origins. So view. Let me see something here. View, hide show, and origins. Down here, black arrows, origins. Because what we want to have on is these blue arrows here. Okay, you could also go to this little eyeball drop down and just turn on the origins right here. All right, now go up the insert component and browse for the knee. What you want to do is move your mouse, put the point of your mouse on this blue arrow here. So you want to line them up so that the origin of your knee is on the origin of your assembly file, so that the little blue arrows match. Okay, once you do that, we can turn off the blue arrows. So click on the eyeball, click on the origins again to turn it off. All right, there we go. All right, hit next topic. It just says to turn that off and go to the isometric view. So if it's rotated around, go hit Control-7 or isometric view. Next topic. All right, we're going to bring in these two parts, insert components. So one thing it wants to show you is that if you hold down the Control key on your keyboard, you can actually select multiple files at one time. So Control click on saddle and table. Hit
So
open.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I couldn't get the origins to match up. How'd you do that? Because I just kind of lined them up a little bit, but it didn't. They're not matched up perfectly.
No, you have to get the tip of your arrow to point at it. Let me go back and show you here. So you got to delete it so it's out. And then turn on your origins. It's eyeball, origins. Go to insert component. Get your knee. When you bring in, you have to point your tip of your arrow at the, like you can't line it up like this. You don't do that. You gotta get your pointer and point at the blue arrows, the origins. And click. Did that work?
Yeah. I was trying to match it up with the arrows, so
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah. A lot of people do that. Not
Yeah,
big deal.
thanks.
All right, click on browse. Control click on the saddle. Control click on the table. And hit open. And just put that one over there and this one over here. It doesn't really matter where, just stick them on the screen. You see how each part actually has an origin. This has an origin, that has an origin, that they all do. I'm going to turn those off so I don't see 100 of them. So click on the eyeball, turn off origins. Click on next topic. Next topic a second time. All right, click off of everything, click on mate. Click on the top of this part here. Middle mouse button, spin it straight up, and click on the bottom of this darker gray part here. And then middle mouse button, rotate it straight down so that they're on top of each other. Hit the check mark once. So that's what this is all showing you. Next topic. Next, we're going to click on kind of this angled side part to match it with that angled side part. So zoom in. Click on this angled part there. Then spin around, match the matching side here, this slanted part. Hit the check mark twice. Go back to your isometric view or just rotate it. So what I can do now is it can slide back and forth in this direction, the Z direction, but it can't go like on the X or Y because we mated it twice. Okay, if I hit my little drop down here, there's my two mates. It's kind of cool that it like highlights and shows you like what you mated. Next topic. All right, click off everything, click on mate again. Click on the top of this gray part, spin around, click on the bottom of that gray part. Right, just like the tutorial here. Hit the check mark once. Next topic. Okay, same thing, slanted side to slanted side. So click on the slanted part there and match it up with the matching slanted part there. Hit the check mark twice to finish it. Go back to the isometric view, Control 7. Next topic. All right, and then just kind of move this so it's kind of centered. Just so it looks like that. And they're going to mate these two planes together. We're not going to do that. That's fine. Hit next topic. And then they're going to mate the front planes together. Again, we don't need to. Next topic. Next topic again. All right, we're going to bring in these three parts. We'll bring them one at a time. Next topic. Let's bring in this orange piece, insert component. It's called the bracket. Double click on it, kind of place it towards the front of the gray thing here. Now, if you notice in the tutorial, this top gray part here has disappeared, called the table. It says, in the Feature Manager design tree, right-click on Table 1 and click on the Hide Component eyeball to hide this. So over here on the left side, in the Feature Manager design tree, we have Table. We're going to click on that and click on the eyeball to hide components. So it doesn't delete it, it just hides it. Okay, and that's going to come important here in a little bit. So Table 1, click on the eyeball to hide it. Click off of everything, click on Mate. Click on the face of this gray thing here, right where it's on the tutorial. Spin around, click on the matching orange side. Hit the check mark once. Next topic. We're going to click on the top of them. So click on the top of the gray thing. Click on the top of the orange thing. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. We're not done yet. Turn on the distance icon. If you notice, we want this to be 3 millimeters down. So on the distance, I'm going to type in 3 and enter. Except on mine, and I don't know why sometimes it does it right and wrong. It's going up 3 millimeters, and I want to flip the dimension, turn that box on, so that it's going 3 millimeters down below the top. Okay, you want this orange piece here to be 3 millimeters below the top of this gray piece. Distance 3 millimeters on the left here. Check flip dimension. And then hit OK, check mark twice. Next topic. All right, go to your isometric view, Control 7. Now we're going to turn on our planes. Go up to View, Hide Show, and turn on the thing that says Planes. I can't see anything yet, but we will. Go to your bracket drop down, hit the drop down next to bracket in your tree. And we have a right plane, click on the right plane.
Mine won't let me turn planes on.
Well, that's okay. Click on the right plane here and
Okay.
Click on the eyeball to show. So when you go to view, hide, show, you can't turn on. It might already be on. Is it pushed in blue or pushed in gray?
No, it's all grayed out.
You
Like
gotta
everything.
click on the eyeball up here where it says hide all types. You gotta click on that eyeball.
All right, yeah, that did it.
Then you can turn on planes. All right, so we turned on the right plane for the bracket. Now we need to turn on the right plane for the saddle. So hit the little drop down next to saddle, find the right plane and make that visible, show. Okay, so we have like both of these right planes on. Okay, so every single part comes in with its own front, top, and right planes. and their own origins. Okay, so all the stuff that's in your part files actually comes over here in the assembly file. Here's all the things that made it up. Here's the origin, the planes, the material, all sorts of stuff in here, the mates. Okay, once you have those two planes, turn on mate, and you're going to mate those two planes. Click on the right plane of the one thing, click on the right plane of the other thing. So not only can we mate surfaces, but we can actually mate these planes together. Okay, so now they're perfectly centered on each other because the center, these parts were drawn with these planes down the center of them, and we just mated the center of the planes to each other. So now the orange thing is centered on the gray thing. Hit your check mark twice to finish that. We don't need these planes anymore, so we can click on the eyeball to hide all types. When you click on the eyeball, it just hides everything that's underneath it.
I don't see how you did that. The planes, can you go through that?
Did you get them turned on?
Yeah, they're turned on. I just can't get them to pop up at all.
You have to go over here to the left and find where the planes are, right plane, and hit the eyeball to show it. Does that work?
So is it just?
You might have to go to this eyeball, make sure that that's turned off.
Okay, I found it, yeah.
And then make the two together.
Okay, gotcha, thanks.
How the rest of you guys doing? Can you hit the OK check mark to show me if you got it? All right, to turn those planes off, we can actually go down to this little eyeball drop down. And just turn on the first one, the planes. All right, next topic. All right, bring in the blue thing. Insert component, the head. Kind of sit that on top of the orange thing. Mate. So we want the top of the orange thing. Middle mouse button. Now we have these little like legs that stick out here on the side. You want to click on the foot here, on the bottom of the foot. Check mark that once. Next topic. All right, zoom in, try to get the bottom of the blue hole and the bottom of the orange hole. So you want to line up the holes together. Hit the check mark. Next topic. Then you want to click on, just like this image here in the tutorial, click on the face of the blue thing and the face of the gray thing. Okay, and when you do that, by default, it pulls up the parallel. You can check that on. And then hit the check mark twice to finish the blue thing. Next topic. All right, we're gonna bring in the purple thing, insert components, scale. It's a big long purple stick scale, put that here near the blue thing. And mate. the edge of the blue, purple thing to the inside of the blue thing. That one's easy enough. Rounded stuff's usually pretty easy to mate. Click on the check mark for mate again. Next topic. All right, we need to show our table. I got ahead of myself here. So back in the feature manager design tree over here on the left, you got to find where it says table 1. Okay, once you have table 1, click on the eyeball again to show it. Okay, and before we get too far, let's save this. Let's go up to File and Save As. And we're going to call this mill, M-I-L-L. Mill, save. Yes to all. Rebuild if you need to rebuild. That way if it crashes, we have it saved. Next topic. All right, we're going to bring in our next component. Go to your isometric view, Control 7. Insert component. We're going to bring in this pillar. Let's stick it over here on the side. Mate component mate. Click on the inside of this little hole right there. And you're going to zoom out and click on the part of the pillar here, this little part right here. And when you do it, it flipped it and put it inside of it. For mine, I'm going to try to see if I can, one, flip it with the main alignment. And maybe also drag it out. You can actually physically just drag this. It's kind of tricky. But mine was like inside of it. And I want to drag this so it's not inside of it. Hit the check mark once. All right, so pretty much what we did is we lined up this part with that hole. Next topic. Now you're going to click on the face of this and spin it around. Spin it around and click on this surface here so it sits on it. And spin it around so it sits on it. Next topic. All right, we're going to bring in this yellow and orange pieces, insert components. Click on the yellow piece, control click on the orange piece. So you got both of them. Hit open. And I'm going to go to my isometric view, Control 7. Put this kind of like there, put this orange piece. Move that out of the way. Kind of like there, just like it is in the tutorial. Now what's weird about 3D, working in a 3D space, is it looks like they're right there, but when I spin it around, like, see how they're like, one's kind of near it, the other one's on the floor? That's one thing weird about 3D spaces. Next topic. So to fix that, we're gonna kind of go through a kind of a weird way to do it. Go to your front view. Okay, in the front view, you're gonna move these up so they're like in this location. I actually have it in front of it, but I don't want to do that because it's going to put it inside of it. Move them up so it's like beside it, and then go to your top view. And you're going to move them like in front of it now. So you kind of go the 3 different directions and move them in all 3 directions. So we move them in the front, we're going to move them in the top, Then you go to the right side. The right side's on the right side of the front view. And if it worked, it should look like this, kind of like little steps going down, step, step, step. Go to the isometric view, Control 7, or isometric cube. And there you go. That's all just to get them kind of in the starting position. Next topic. We can rotate these around. There's a couple ways that you can do it. We can, let's go to our orange piece. We can right click. And there's an option here that says move with triad. Triad's these 3 arrows, triad. And we could like rotate it on any of these directions or move it. If we want to move it a precise distance, and I don't usually do this, let's just rotate it up. So I'm going to go up, so it's kind of pointing straight up and down. That's good enough. Next topic. All right, click off of everything, click on mate. Click on the inside of the yellow piece. Click on the green piece, that puts them together, hit the check mark twice. Do not mate the yellow piece to the gray thing. You don't want to do that, just make this hole to the green thing. Next, you're going to mate the orange shaft to the yellow hole. So mate the orange shaft inside the up and down yellow hole. Okay, hit the check mark once. Next topic, mate the purple thing to the orange hole. Purple scale to the orange hole. Okay, now technically, this doesn't really matter, but I like to flip the mate alignment because I like my little, I call them like duck lips, the little pincher things, I feel should be facing out towards you. Of course, they don't have that in the tutorial, but I like these little clamp things here to be facing towards me. By flipping it, hit the check mark twice. Again, not important. I just think it makes more sense. Next topic. All right, so we got to do the same to the other side. Okay, now one thing we could do is hold the control key down and tear off copies to the other side. Don't forget your green pillar. Or if you don't want to do that, you could insert components and just insert them on the other side. The nice thing about copying them from here is that they're already kind of in the right position. And I'm going to hit the check mark to finish my mate command just to make sure I'm starting a new mate. All right, so mate the inside of this hole to the green thing again, check mark it. And then click on the gray thing and spin it around to the face of the green thing. So they sit on top of each other. Now we actually have a problem here. Hit the check mark again to finish the mate. Our yellow thing is facing the wrong direction. Okay, so right click on it. Click on the yellow thing and then right click on it and go move with triad. And right click on the little white cylinder in the center again. And click on which one is it? Show rotation delta XYZ box. Again, I'm gonna, oh boy, move with triad, right click on the white sphere, show the rotation delta. What you can do is you can actually rotate this on the X value. I can type in 90 and hit OK. Click on the OK button once. They want you to click on it 3 times. So click on the OK 2 more times for a total of 3. And now this should be like on the top here, this hole, and then this up vertical hole's on the right. See how that kind of matches? If you can't get that, you can actually go to the rotate tool up here. You can kind of just try to manually get it close by like spinning it around and rotating it. Okay, but what you want to do next topic is when we mate, click off of everything, click on mate. You want to click on the inside of the yellow part to the green part here. You want to make sure this vertical hole is on the right side. Okay, once you do that, hit the OK check mark on the participants thing. This is pretty tricky, these 3 parts. It can take a while. So if you don't get it, that's okay. You'll have time to work on it because this is towards the end of our part in our lab for this week. And then we want to mate this orange cylinder to the yellow hole. That's what they're doing here. Check mark, next topic. And then do the inside of the orange thing to the purple scale. What's kind of weird is when you do that, it all kind of comes together magically, and hit the check mark twice to finish that. Okay, and then hit the green check mark. Yes, okay, check mark. And George and Cameron, how are you guys doing? Do you need me to show you something again?
I'm just trying to get those parts to go together. I'm trying to rotate them around so they actually fit. I'll get it, but it is kind of tricky.
All right, one last thing I want to show you guys here for this part. We have to mate the end of our purple thing with the end of our part here. So let me show you. I'll pull this out a little bit. Hit escape, click on mate, or just watch this so you know what to do. You want to mate the end of the purple scale to the end of the orange thing. Then you want to turn on a distance icon and make it 5 millimeters so that it sticks out perfectly 5 millimeters from the face here. And hit the check mark twice so that it sticks out 5 millimeters on the left and right. I know I showed that backwards, but. And then once you're done, go to your isometric view. Kind of drag this so it's like centered left and right and centered back and forth. So it's kind of like nice and centered like that. And then save it again. That's the mill and save as. Yes, rebuild, all that good stuff. Save all that stuff. All right, even if you're not done, let's take a break and save it. Let's put it in the title block. And congratulations, we did this tutorial, yay. I want to show you how to do the title block because then that's it. So on Brightspace, on the bottom, it does say this PDF shows you the drawing sheets on what you're going to need to do it. You can click on that. So we're just going to put them in the sheet at different scales, isometric, isometric, and from the side. 1, 2, 3. So let's get this together. Even if you're not done with these, you can still put them in and they'll update automatically as you finish them. So let's go up to File, New, Drawing. And just hit OK for the default ANSI landscape. And any files that you have open will be listed here. Since I have the mill still open, my mill's there. So double click on the mill, click on the isometric icon, click on the shaded with edges icon. And I'm going to stick that right there. Maybe move it down a little bit. And the scale on the title block is 1 to 8. So down here where it says 1 to 10, I'm going to click on that and go to Sheet Properties and make it 1 to 8. And hit OK or Apply Changes. And now just to check, I can click on this part. And over here on the left, it says Use Sheet Scale 1 to 8. Okay, once we do that, go to the View Layout tab, click on Model View, and let's bring in the bead breaker next. Now I got to browse for mine since I closed the bead breaker. This is why you want to keep things nice and organized and you want to know where they're at. Bead breaker, SolidWorks ASM assembly. So PAT part ASM assembly. The isometric view. Shaded with edges. And it's trying to bring in a custom scale. I don't want that. I want use sheet scale, which is the 1 to 8. I can stick that over here somewhere and then move it if I need to. Okay, again, if you bring it in, it's like all tiny or huge, just click on it and all your settings are on the left side. Use sheet scale. There's the 1 to 8 that I've set up by default. All right, the last one we're going to bring in is actually going to be a scale of 1 to 3. So this one's different. View layout tab, model view, browse, find the chopper, and right there, chopper assembly. Okay, this one we're going to bring in the front view. And we're going to use a custom scale, but we're going to make it not a 1 to 5. User define at the top. And we'll make it 1 to 5, enter. I can click there on my screen. Nope, that's the front. So what I can do is hit escape. Click on my front view, my chopper, and change it. I wanted that to be the right side. The scale doesn't look right. 1 to 5, 1 to 3. Oh, that's a fail. We can change it. That's good for us to learn how to fix this. I can either hit 1 to 3, my computer froze, so I gotta wait for it to unfreeze. Perfect, just what I wanted. User define, 1 to 3, enter. Shaded with edges turned on. My sketches are showing up. Up top here, I can just click on the little eyeball and hide everything. My sketches will go away. Okay, I don't need to write the text in here. The scale 1 to 3, 1 to 8, 1 to 8. That's just for your information. What you should do though is edit the title block, right click on the title block, edit sheet format, double click on your text box, make your text size 12 points tall, and your name. Click off of it, deselect, and then exit the sheet format. All right, we can name this one Lab 10, file save as. Lab 10, maybe all. What do I have it named on this? Lab 10, Lab 10 all, either way. And save it as a PDF file, save as. Change the type, save as type, PDF. Save that. And then we can go back to Brightspace. And at the top, go to our Dropbox folder and save that into Lab 10. And we already got 2 submissions already. Okay.